they'll be the best team in the league next year. Number 1, Seattle, between Mike McDonald, John Snyder, his drafting record, Sam Darnold. So many of it's like watching a little bit like watching OKC last year, the Spurs this year. They have so much upside, and they're already really, really good. So Seattle just doesn't miss, and they've last 4 years they have hit on their top 2 picks, and I mean stars. The last 4 years in the draft, top 2 picks. So they're not even paying those guys yet. That would be my top 10 right now. I don't have Green Bay, but they've been a number 7 seed in the playoffs, haven't they? This year they were a 7 seed. Weren't they a 7 seed the year before? J-Mac, you have you're just puzzled by this.
Listen, I know we have a guest usually here. I got a lot to say about this one, so maybe we should wait a little bit. I mean,
we'll wait.
It's kind of wild here, Coward. Really? I don't know. So no Eagles anywhere to be found? No Joe Burrow? No Lamar Jackson? I mean, were you the one yesterday telling me they had 9 Pro Bowlers?
Lamar Jackson, that new contract he's going to get. That the Ravens are going to have to move off people.
Where are the Houston Texans? They just 11 or something? Like,
aren't you the guy that kept complaining that C.J. Stroud was regressing?
I think he's not a very good quarterback.
So if you don't have a very good quarterback, how are you better than Mahomes and Josh Allen and Drake May and Jared Goff?
The defense is elite, and we just saw it's not about quarterbacks; it's about defense at this point. I'm surprised the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, that's just a joke. But yeah, this is 3 from the AFC West.
Yeah.
2 from the NFC West. No Niners.
Hey, you know how I like Mendoza? Raiders maybe 11 by September.
Come on. Stop.
All right, let's bring in Greg Cosell, 46 years, NFL films. There's so much to talk about. You know I love Sam Darnold. You know I've always loved Sam Darnold.
I know that.
He had a little hitch in his, delivery, and he came into the league at 20, so he wasn't quite ready. I argued yesterday. People say, everybody loves to get credit. And I said, the NFC was the better conference this year. By the end of the year, Mahomes is beat up and all that. And I said, to go through a playoff and Mike Vrabel's defense without a turnover, Breeze did that once, Aikman did it once. Like, that is saying, because that Rams defense can create turnovers. But you tell me, when you watch the Super Bowl, and even the playoffs, how much credit does Sam deserve?
Well, it's funny you say that because normally we talk about the quarterback as being the key to everything. Now, I thought what Darnold did in that game is he played that game the way it was demanded to be played, given the way their defense played. Now, I was actually surprised. I was there in the stadium watching the game, and then, of course, I watched the tape yesterday. I was truly surprised when I saw that he had 40 dropbacks because the game didn't really play out that way because they ran the ball really well. They ran a lot of plays. They controlled the ball for 33 minutes. Even though they weren't great on third down, they still controlled the ball. And I thought Darnold played that game the way it was demanded to be played. He missed a few, Colin, as you know, where he just missed, and that would have probably made it even more of a rout if he hit those throws. But there were times where he clearly felt it wasn't clean, it was muddied, and he checked it down. He obviously had that scramble on I think it was the first third quarter drive. He played really efficient football. I think it might have been Matt Hasselbeck, I can't remember, but the term, as opposed to game manager, which has a negative pejorative term, and I think the term that Matt used was game commander, which I think is such a better way to talk about a quarterback that, and Tom Brady talks about this all the time. You play the game the way the game demands that you play it. It's not about putting up the big stats. He played that game the right way.
Yeah, Drake May set an NFL Super Bowl record for passing yards in a quarter. So that's all you need to know because he was throwing the ball in the fourth quarter nonstop.
Yeah.
So you got to get out of the stat. Now, I got to ask you about Kenneth Walker. He's got such a unique style. I think we both like him. I liked him at Michigan State. He's a guy that breaks a lot of tackles. He is so thick. The idea of a corner coming up and bringing him down by themselves, maybe his own teammate Devin Witherspoon could do it. Most corners couldn't. What do you make of his effectiveness?
Yeah, well, you know what surprised me? We talked about this last week leading up to the game, and I was surprised that he was able to get to the edge as much as he did against that Patriots defense. They are really good running out of multiple tight end personnel. That's really their foundation. 21 of his 27 carries came out of either 12 or 13 personnel, meaning 2 tight ends or 3 tight ends. But I was truly surprised with him getting to the edge. I thought with a Mike Vrabel defense, and certainly Vrabel being coached by Belichick, where setting the edge was really a constant theme. That's something truly that surprised me. But I thought that Walker in this game ran with sort of calculated patience. I mean, when you run with patience, what you do is you manipulate second-level defenders. And I thought he did a really good job of that. And then, of course, he certainly has the burst when he saw the hole. There were times watching the tape where I thought of Le'Veon Bell with how patient he was. You know, you don't normally see that. And certainly not from Kenneth Walker, who always looks to get to the perimeter.
Yeah. The New England did a pretty good job until they got tired and their tackling regressed. New England did a pretty good job to slow down Seattle's offense for a while. What was their secret sauce, or was it just personnel?
Yeah, no, I think that's an overlooked element of the game. I thought that the defense for the Patriots actually played exceptionally well. I mean, obviously Walker had that 30-yard run and 29-yard run back-to-back, but for the most part, you know, I thought the Patriots defense played well. Now, as I said, Darnold missed a few, and that would have changed the whole feel about the game. You know, obviously, he just underthrew Shaheed on a vertical route, a post route that Gonzalez was able to get his hands on. He threw, he had Smith and Jigba on that sort of bang 8. That would have been a touchdown if he laid it out in front of him.
Yeah,
and
that
he allowed
one right
Gonzalez
there, he threw the ball behind him.
Yeah. So that would have changed our conversation. But for the most part, they played well. I thought the rookie safety Woodson, I thought he was all over the tape. He played a really, really good game. But, you know, it was a close game, obviously. When it got to be 19-7 and New England got the ball, I'm not saying you thought they were going to win, but for a moment there, you're thinking, oh, we might have a ball game here.
You know, Chris Collinsworth said at halftime, he and Tirico, when they came back for the start of the second half, you know, Collinsworth just laid it out. He goes, yeah, he's not ready. Like this right now feels too big for him. Now, some of that's the pass protection, but he did look, you know, what happens when you speed up young quarterbacks, their accuracy dips. Was it just a matter of he just didn't want to get hit? He was trying to get rid of the ball.
No, being in the stadium, the first thing I noticed, was the pressure packages that Seattle started the game with. They're not a high percentage blitz defense. In fact, they were one of the lower percentage blitz defenses, but they started the game on third downs with pressure. Now, then they backed off the pressure because they only rushed 5 or more on 8 of May's 53 dropbacks. It might have seemed like more watching the game because they started with pressure. And what they did a phenomenal job of, Colin, is you can dictate pass protection by how you align your defensive front. And they did such a good job of that. They lined up with a lot of 5-man fronts, 6-man fronts. That dictates how you have to pass protect. And then once you know how they have to protect, then you can bring someone, and it was Witherspoon, who's not accounted for. So they did such a really good job with that early in the game, and they got Drake May sort of playing fast. You know, we've talked about this before with quarterbacks, that all of a sudden they start to play fast and everything gets speeded up. The mental process gets speeded up, the physical process gets speeded up, and then they miss throws that they normally would make with no problem at all.
The only guarantee I made on the Friday before the Super Bowl, I said on the air, New England will not run the ball. They will absolutely, and I said, that's why I ended up picking Seattle. I said, that means Drake May is going to have to throw 35 times plus. He's 1-7. That's not what you want a 23-year-old doing in the Super Bowl. They will not run the ball. So it was obvious to me, which means it was probably really obvious to you. And it was, to me, it was just felt like Seattle athletically in the box has better players. Forget scheme for a second. They're just twitchy, fast, long. And I felt like New England's O-line was overwhelmed right out of the gate.
They were overmatched. And the secret sauce for Seattle all year, quite frankly, has been, and this is a trend in the league, if you can do it, it depends on your players, is they're able to stop the run playing out of a too high safety structure, playing out of a too deep shell, which they played a lot of in this game because of the quality of their up front players. I did not think New England would be able to run the ball well in this game, certainly not inside with Stevenson, because Murphy, Leonard Williams, Jaron Reed, their tackle rotation is as good as any in the league. We know what they have on the outside with Lawrence, a terrific player who had a great year, and they just overmatched a New England offensive line, particularly on the left side with playing the two rookies. They were just overmatched. But that's one of the secret sauces, is they're able to stop the run without having to allocate a safety, and I'm not talking about Eminwari, because he's essentially a Sam linebacker in their defense. I'm talking about allocating a safety, either Julian Love or Kobe Bryant. They don't have to allocate them as part of the run defense, so they can keep them in a too deep shell.
I said before the Super Bowl, there are parts of New England I like a lot. I don't love their O-line, and I think they probably need another tight end. I was disappointed they didn't use Hunter Henry more. I think you can beat the Seahawks at tight end. That's why the Rams are so effective against Seattle. They go right at the tight end. Obviously, Puka's great, but New England's receivers are fine. The O-line, though, to me is really a priority in the offseason. You got to draft it. You got to spend some money on it. What did the tape say?
Well, obviously, what happened in the game in Seattle, in addition to those pressures early in the game that set the tone, then settled into playing a lot of, I don't want to say basic defense, but they created one-on-one matchups because they lined up a lot in what we call loaded fronts, meaning there were three defensive linemen to one side of the center, and then they put Ernest Jones on the ball. So it was essentially a five-man front. And almost always that dictates what we call 5-0 protection, meaning that the five offensive linemen are responsible for one-on-one blocks. And Seattle they won those blocks too many times. They physically were better than the Patriots' offensive line, in addition to the times when they did pressure and they were able to beat them because they understood their protections and how to attack it with an unaccounted for rusher. So it was sometimes, Colin, football is just matchup football. And the Seahawks were just better up front, and they won a lot of one-on-one matchups.
Yeah, no, that's what the good coaches do, all this raw stuff. The bottom line is you have to say, when you look at film, guys, we are insufficient athletically here. We have to protect that. The one thing you could see that even I could see was Seattle's defensive front. You've got elite players, and Will Campbell, and we said this before the game, is probably a guard. He came out of a bad draft class. He'd probably be a very good guard. He doesn't feel like right now a left tackle. Let's wrap it up with this. We talked about this week on the show, Greg, is that offense is eye candy. You watch Mike McDaniel, Sean McVay. You watch Kyle Shanahan, Ben Johnson. It's easy to see the motion and the creativity. But great defensive coaches, Mike McDonald, Brian Flores, maybe DeMeco Ryans, that's where Greg Cosell can come in and say, okay, here's what's happening. Because offense, we can all watch the Dolphins with Mike McDaniel and see all of them and go, oh, they're clever.
Well,
what's Mike McDonald do that you, 46 years doing this, go, wow, that is something?
I mean, the play that I'd love to show is a perfect example of that. I mean, it was 3rd and 15 on the second possession because early in the game, they came out and they pressured. Now, they did that early. So if we could take a look at this play, because this, to me, you talk about eye candy. For someone like myself watching tape, this is just unbelievably good. I love when I see this. As I said, it was 3rd and 15. You see Drake May, he's in the gun. Now, what you're going to see here is a 6-man front. So now you have to count for 6 potential pass rushers. And what they did is they put Jones up there inside and Eminwari on the outside. Now, there's only, of course, 5 offensive linemen. So now what do you have to do? You've got to figure out a way to deal with the 6-man front. But with the 5 offensive linemen, you get what we call 5-0 protection. So they match up, and that includes Jones because he's on the ball, mugged up on the ball, as we say. Now, the right tackle is going to be responsible. I think that was Lawrence on the outside. Now, what you have to do here is then you have Stevenson in the backfield. He's got to account for Eminwari. So ultimately, you can match up to those 6 people on the ball. So what you're going to get is you're going to get one player now that cannot be accounted for. Okay, and that is going to be, of course, Witherspoon. Witherspoon is going to come from depth, and this is the beauty of it. This is where the schematics, the tactics work so well. So we've just mapped out the protection, but now no one can account, based on the protection call, no one can account for Witherspoon. And as we flip this and look at it from the end zone, you'll see the right tackle is responsible for Lawrence. So he actually, even though he got help from Hunter Henry, he's still responsible for him, the right tackle. So no one here now is responsible for Witherspoon coming from depth and distance. So this is just beautiful design, and you see the speed, you see the athleticism, and he just sacks May. And this happens fast. And when you're a quarterback, Colin, you feel this, you see it. It's just all of a sudden there's a guy coming right at you in your vision, and everything just happens too fast. Yeah. So this is how they started the game. They did this multiple times on the first couple of possessions, and this is what got Drake May just playing fast throughout the game. Everything changed with those first couple of possessions.
Greg Cosell, as always, this is just so much fun. Great seeing you. We'll talk free agency, draft. We'll keep bringing you back.
For sure.
Great stuff, Greg. Thank you.
Thanks, Colin. Really appreciate it.
It's interesting, J-Mac, when you watch that. When you show it in slow motion, you don't see it. And then you roll the tape fast, and you're like, Devin Witherspoon is there. 1001, 1000, boom, he's there. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So Drake May in the first couple series is like, okay, I got no time. What? So you start speeding him up. So you get into his young head, you speed him up, and now he's speeding up when he doesn't have to speed up, and they're only bringing 4. So, man, there's good stuff. I haven't even gotten to some of the gems today. I don't even know if I will. Maybe I'll just save it. Call Nick Wright. Tell him to give us an hour, J-Mac. J-Mac's been very quiet today because his Lakers have gotten rolled, and he's just not in the mood to talk about it. But I will tell you, and I feel strongly about it. Well, I'll talk about it. I'm going to talk about it on the other side.
Wait. Just for the record, you think I don't want to talk Lakers? I mean, there's 15 layers to that team right now. I mean, yeah. Go ahead. Go off on the. I like when you go off on the Lakers. It's fun.
I'm not going off. I am contextualizing what my eyes see. Say it up front. Don't usually endorse supplements, but I have M-Drive before. Been around 20 years, almost 20 years. And it's all about discipline and a plan. It's not just motivation. Our bodies changed. It's called biology. Weight comes on easier, and it's harder to burn it. So M-Drive's about routines, daily, discipline, consistent, simple. It fits my life. Good stuff. M-Drive's #1 product is Boost and Burn. It supports steady energy and steady and healthy metabolism and fat burning. So all your effort actually counts. No hype, 20 years, using high-quality, clinically tested ingredients. They make their supplements in America. That's a bonus. Fits your routine, does mine. Simple. It's practical. Put the protein powder in my coffee, couple of scoops every morning. Check them out, mdriveformen.com. You can get it on Amazon or get their Boost and Burn at Sprouts, mdriveformen.com. Running a commercial plumbing or HVAC company isn't easy. You're driving revenue, managing payroll, coordinating marketing, juggling projects, and keeping customers satisfied all at once. You need software that keeps up. It's time to upgrade to ServiceTitan, the all-in-one solution built to help companies like yours run smarter, grow faster, and scale with confidence. See how the most successful contractors are doing it today with ServiceTitan. Visit ServiceTitan.com to learn more. That's ServiceTitan.com. We all want the best without having to pay the most. That's where Verizon comes in. Get this. Now you can take your AT&T or T-Mobile bill into any Verizon store. They'll look at what you're paying and give you a better deal, period. You get the amazing coverage you want while keeping more cash in your pocket. Visit your local Verizon store to start saving today. Must provide recent consumer mobile bill in the name of the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms and conditions apply.
This is The Herd.
You got to be consistent.
With Colin Cowherd.
Mic check.
I preached last week, Stafford should be the MVP over Drake May. And I said the reason is every time Matt Stafford walks to the line, he understands the why. Drake May is still trying to figure out, as I said last week, the what. What am I seeing? What is this? He didn't have the answers against Seattle. Stafford against Seattle tore him apart 3 times. Drake May overwhelmed. Chris Collinsworth appropriately said at halftime, May is not ready for this moment. Mike Vrabel at halftime seemed resigned to the fact his young quarterback was over his skis. He was nervous and he was rattled. And that's why I said stop vomiting statistics and spewing analytics. Quarterback is about the why.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Wow.
Weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
It's a new year, and it's the first new sale at Family Leisure. It's the floor model sale happening now. Family Leisure has deep, like diving deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even those cold plunges. How deep are these discounts? I'm not allowed to say. So if you've been putting off getting a new spa, then right now is the best time to buy. Here's one price I can let loose. You can get a spa as low as $99 a month. Plus, you can get over $1,000 in upgrades with every spa purchased. One other special deal, you can get an $8,000 spa for only $159 a month. And you know what? Family Leisure is going to throw in some LED lights and waterfalls on most models. Room's got to be made, and so do the deals at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Join NFL and Ole Miss football legend Archie Manning for an evening of inspiring stories on leadership, perseverance, and greatness. Don't miss Archie Manning at the Heindel Center in Senatobia, Mississippi on Friday, February 20th. Tickets are on sale now at heindelcenter.org.
On the iHeartRadio app, it's the button that looks like a microphone which allows you to talk to us. Press it, record your message, and fire it off.
Rose Bowl game.
It's simple and intuitive.
Broadcast on radio.
On second thought, perhaps some people are confusing it with a smart speaker prompt.
Texas and Arizona.
Pretty sure that's what's happening.
Texas and Arizona football game.
Fox Sports Radio is at your fingertips on the iHeartRadio app.
Listen, I don't usually endorse supplements. Most promise shortcuts. Anybody who's done real work knows shortcuts fail. But M-Drive supplements every morning with my coffee is different. They support energy, metabolism, and fat burning. No hype. M-Drive. By the way, in about 15 to 20 minutes, you've heard of Steven Spielberg's DreamWorks Studios. Well, I have spent Over the last 48 hours, I have a new business venture. It's called Darnold Works Studios. I'm naming it after Sam Darnold. So Spielberg has DreamWorks. I've created a new venture called Darnold Works Studios, and we've got some exciting new movie productions, 15 minutes out. Very excited to introduce them to you in 15 minutes. First, though, J-Mac with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
All right, Colin, but before you get started with this whole Darnold situation, I know you got a whole movie studio you're going to pop up. I just want to caution you, there is news in Seattle. So they have lost Clint Kubiak to the Raiders. Okay, we talked about this. He left as the OC. He was very good with Sam Darnold. Who is going to replace him? Colin, we just saw this play out in Detroit last year with Ben Johnson. They went to a guy in-house. All reports right now indicate Seattle is going to stay in-house for this OC job, and it's going to either go to a quarterback coach named Andrew Janocko or the passing game coordinator Jake Peets. Those are the leaders to be the OC play caller for Mike McDonald and Sam Darnold.
Don't love it. I have to be totally upfront. Don't
love it or hate it immensely.
I don't like promoting from within, with very few exceptions. I don't like doing it. The number, we had a graph we put on the screen a month ago on this. Overwhelmingly does not work.
In football, right? In basketball and other fields, it works fine. But in football, historically, it has not worked at all.
The best candidate, when a legend leaves, when Steve Spurrier left Florida, or when you have a Urban Meyer leaves Ohio State, when you got to go and have a wide search. I've always had a theory. The greater the person you're replacing, the wider the search has to be for them. Detroit lost Ben Johnson, the best OC in the league for 2 or 3 years. I have nothing against anybody in that Lions building. You got to go bigger and broader. When Michigan lost Jim Harbaugh, you don't just elevate the assistant everybody likes. You've got to make a national search. That's why I said about Alabama when they lost Saban. You can say what you want. Every AD in the country knows Kalen DeBoer is a great hire. Now, Alabama's not as good when Saban was because they don't have the NIL money. Saban knew, I'm getting the hell out of here once NIL got revved up. Alabama didn't have that kind of money in state. So you can blame Kalen DeBoer. That roster's not close to Saban's roster 5 years ago, but DeBoer was a great hire. You usually don't go legend to like next potential legend. That would ideally be the way to do it, but so I don't love this.
But the best businesses often have that next legend. They've identified them, and they got them on staff, and they're already working with the coach. A lot of the best ones. I mean, I'll have examples for you when we talk about this next